Welcome to Learn with Roblox. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. So let's get right into it. If you have a right triangle with sides A, B, and C, where A and B are the legs, meaning they touch this right angle, and C is the hypotenuse, that's opposite to the right angle, then the Pythagorean theorem basically tells us that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. It's a simple formula, and I think it's pretty straightforward to remember. So let's get into how you can use it to solve triangle problems. In this first problem, I've given you that the legs of the triangle are 3 and 4, and we need to find the hypotenuse, which I've labeled with a red question mark. To do this, just recall the Pythagorean theorem, which say that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And then the legs of the triangle go in for A and B. So I'll just plug 3 and 4 into this formula. It doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B because both of these are the legs. So we have 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to C squared, if we call the side C. And then that's 9 plus 16 is equal to C squared. That means 25 equals C squared. To solve, just take the square root of both sides, and you'll find that 5 is equal to C. So this hypotenuse, oops, I kind of destroyed the triangle there, is just equal to 5. Let's move on to the next one. In this problem, I've given you that the legs of the triangle are 9 and 7, and I want you to find the hypotenuse. Let's set up the Pythagorean theorem, where 7 is A, 9 is B, and the side is C. So we would have 9 squared plus 7 squared, or you could write this the other way around since I wrote B squared plus A squared, is equal to C squared. That would be 81 plus 49 is equal to C squared. And then 81 plus 49 is 130 equals C squared. Just take the square root of both sides to solve for C. And you get C is equal to the square root of 130. And if you want to know what that's equal to as a decimal, it's about 11.4. And just like that, we're done. Let me just put in 11.4 here. And we've now found the hypotenuse of this triangle. Let's go on to problem 3. The setup for this problem is a little different. Here I've given you one leg of the triangle, 48. Let's just call that A for now. I've given you the hypotenuse is equal to 50. Let's call that C. And we need to find the length of this leg. Let's just call that B and apply the Pythagorean theorem. We will have 48 squared, that's A squared, plus B squared, which we don't know at the moment, is equal to 50 squared. I'm going to subtract 48 squared from both sides so that I can isolate B squared. I'll then have B squared is equal to 50 squared minus 48 squared. That would be B squared is equal to 2500 if you put this into a calculator, minus 2304. And if you do that subtraction, you'll get B squared is equal to 196. From here, just take the square root of both sides. And you'll get B is equal to 14. So that means this leg, let me erase all this, is equal to 14. Let's go to problem 4. The setup is the same as the previous problem. Let 4 be A, let this unknown leg be B, and let the hypotenuse be C. We would have 4 squared plus B squared is equal to the square root of 117 squared. If we do that, that would be 16 plus B squared is equal to 117. Because if you square a square root, the square root disappears. If we subtract 16 from both sides, we would have B squared is equal to 101. That means B is equal to the square root of 101. And on a calculator, that's about 10.05. And we're done. Let me just fill that in here. And now let's move on to our final problem of the day. For our final problem of the day, we're given that the two legs of the triangle are 3x and x, and the hypotenuse is 9. We can just apply the Pythagorean theorem to try and solve for x, and then we can find the length of each side. So let's do that. We'd have 3x squared plus x squared is equal to 9 squared. 3x squared is 9x squared because that exponent applies to the 2 and the x. And then we would add x squared to that. And then 9 squared is just 81. 9x squared plus x squared is 10x squared. And that's equal to 81. To solve for x squared, just divide by 10. And we'll have that x squared is equal to 81 over 10. To solve for x squared now, take the square root of both sides. Or to solve for x. And then if you do that, you'd have x is equal to the square root of 81 divided by the square root of 10. Or that's just 9 over the square root of 10. And then if you want to rationalize this denominator, multiply the top and the bottom by square root 10. And if you do that, you'll get 9 square root 10 for the numerator. And then square root of 10 times square root of 10 is just 10. So just like that, we've now solved for x. And that's one leg of the triangle. If we want 3x, just multiply x by 3. So 3 times 9 square root of 10 divided by 10. That's just 3 times 9, which is 27. Square root of 10 divided by 10. And just like that, we've solved for both legs of the triangle. And if you want to know what these are as decimals, x is just roughly equal to 2.85. And then 3x is just roughly equal to 8.54. Let's fill in these values in our triangle and call it a day. So x will roughly equal to 2.85. And then 3x was roughly equal to 8.54. And we're done with this triangle. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing.